Dari laporan kan. Terus aku tahunya tuh si Devram sama
Tidak ruangan kamu tahu.
Dari kelas kita kan maksudnya kita tuh juga tulis sama kayak yang kita tulis kan
Ya, terus
ditambah-tambahin yang proknya dulu pakai diagram pen gitu-gitu. Nulis waktu semua.
Ibu Farah, selamat sore.
teman Bu Farah lagi sholat pada dulu.
Oh ya. Loh, Ibu Keket masih mengikuti. Posisi di mana Ibu Keket?
Oh, lagi di bandara, Pung. Masih nunggu.
Oh, masih nunggu.
Iya.
Nggak apa-apa, nggak lemas, nggak ini.
Agak. Gak apa-apa, Pung. Masih kuat.
Selamat sore Bu Farah.
Minum vitamin apa-apa terus.
Siap, Pung.
Kalau itu nggak keluar itu apa susu apa sih?
Terlalu lancar.
Oh, jam 4 pesawatnya.
Iya, Pung.
Ini hati-hati. Rasa repot-repot gak oleh-oleh.
Siap.
Itu kode.
Selamat sore Bapak Ibu, salam kenal, saya Arini.
Selamat sore Mbak Uni.
Tonton,
Iya Pak,
Selamat sore, Bu Arini.
sore Bu Catherine. Izin sholat dulu sebentar ya Pak, asar.
monggo. Di Jakarta kan baru masuk asap, lebih lambat.
Halo Mbak Nadia, silakan. Tes suara Mbak Nadia.
Suaranya Pak Arfan malah nggak jelas.
Ya jelas baru.
Wah,
Halo Mbak Nadia.
suaranya jauh.
Halo.
Lumayan.
Apakah suara saya sudah terdengar, Pak?
Ya jelas Mbak.
Baik, sebentar, Pak.
Ya.
Itu pada nama Bu Parwa ya Bu Parwa Brinwen ya.
Betul Pak Ibu.
Selamat sore Bu Parwa.
Oke, Pak. Selamat sore, Pak.
Selamat pagi Pak Muji.
Selamat pagi.
Masa masih pagi?
Pagi
Mas.
Pak.
Jam berapa Pak Muji?
Jam 10.
Masih sudah agak siang, hampir siang.
Oh iya, pagi Bapak Ibu semuanya.
Pagi.
Selamat sore ding di sana.
Si Nyonya sama Nana masih di Solo deh?
Iya Pak, masih.
Oh, dikasih masih 15-20.
TV-nya sudah saya share ya Mas Muji ya. Virtual background-nya sudah saya share.
Oh iya, ini
Pak Wiwi.
untuk ini nggak bisa pakai virtual background Pak.
Oh, nggak bisa.
Oh, baik Pak Pur, baik itu ganti.
Kurang canggih.
Laptop untuk orang sekolah ada.
Saya pernah nyoba tuh hijau-hijau semua. Nanti mungkin ini soalnya saya lagi di luar, mungkin kalau saya balik kamar.
Assalamualaikum Mas Muji.
Ci, boleh ibu mulai Ci.
Mas Muji udah mandi?
Oh, sudah dong.
Pagi Mas Muji.
Kalau setahu saya di sana tuh mandinya di Bali.
Ditanyain Mbak Nora atau Mas Muji? Di Itali ya?
Diturin.
Turinnya kok.
Oh,
Catherine yang nyapa tadi.
Salam buat Dede.
Oh, nggak kelihatan. Oh iya. Ya.
Pagi Mas.
Selamat pagi, selamat sore, Mbak Catherine. Selamat sore.
selamat sore Prof. Moses.
Selamat sore Pak Arfan.
Sehat Prof.
Sehat, terima kasih.
Wih,
Tadi background-nya dulu sebentar.
background-nya kebun pisang.
Sudah
Selamat
dikirim.
sore Pak Moses.
Selamat sore. Sudah dikirim kok. Tinggal mencari.
Dapat salam dari Pak Siswa Pak Moses.
Mas apa?
Siswa.
Sopo itu?
Wadek 1.
Oh iya, makasih. Iya Kong, kabar Kong?
Alhamdulillah.
Ngomongnya langsung survei.
Nah, iki.
Sore Prof. Moses, kok kemarin nggak ikut ke Undip?
Iya, sakit.
Lepe beda to sisman no.
Iya,
Tidak
sisman
apa-apa
saya, Bu.
kok ngikut.
Oh, iya. Yang ke UGM, ya, Sisman.
Hmm.
Gimana, Bu Ratna? Mahasiswa S2-nya berapa orang sekarang?
Itu Kaprodi S2-nya Pak Arfan tuh, tahun ini turun 9 ya,
Nah, lumayan lah.
sama internasional 5.
Total 89 berarti.
Ada 2 program toh.
IUP
Oh, S2 ada UP.
ada.
Oh,
Iya, ada kelas internasional, Prof. Sudah 2 tahun.
sudah meluluskan lah berarti.
Belum.
Prof.
Belum.
2 semester toh.
2 semester. Oke. Harus dipus, Bu. Pak Irfan, Pak Arfan, Pak Heru. Supaya cepatan lulus. Nanti kalau cepatan lulus yang datang banyak. Kalau gak lulus-lulus ya yang datang ya takut.
Kemarin kita bulan lalu sama istri ke Bukit Tinggi. Istri saya langsung ingat menelusuri jejak-jejak yang dikunjungi istri sama Bu Moses.
Dalam rangka apa, Pak Heru?
Gimana?
Dalam rangka apa ke sana?
Halan-halan saja.
Wah,
Ada
aduh.
full jalan-jalan.
Wah. Belum sempat halan-halan ya saya.
Di rumah apa di kampus, Pak Moses?
Di rumah, Pak Heru. Ini sedapat mungkin kalau nggak ada apa-apa saya keluar di rumah, Pak. Sebabnya mertua sakit, Pak. Ya nggak
Dia
sakit.
juga di rumahnya Pak Moses?
Iya, di rumah saya.
Di Gebang?
Iya, di Gebang. Ya sudah tua, 86.
Loh, Mas Ivan itu pindah kota balik ke Indonesia?
Sudah di Indonesia, Pak. Rencananya mau ke Ubaya.
Oh, langsung tangan terbuka. Kalau dihibahkan Undip pasti beratnya mau.
Ini pengen di Ubaya katanya. Ya wes, anut baik. Tanggal 2 pulang dari sana sampai sini tanggal 3. Terus di Bandung dulu sekarang.
Ya, anaknya lucu-lucu kali saya ngikuti di
Instagram.
medsosnya.
Iya.
Berarti total cucu sudah berapa, Pak Prof?
Ya baru 2 itu.
Itu ya.
Ya. Pak Arfan, nanti kalau yang lainnya panjang nggak masalah Pak Arfan, saya bisa memendekkan.
Iya, Prof. Fleksibel aja, Prof.
Ya.
Mbak Catherine,
Iya, Pak.
Bu Mosdit, gimana? Sudah kasih respon?
Sudah join.
Sudah join?
Yes. Already.
Oh iya. Thank you very much, Pak Catherine. Saya coba ingatkan Prof. Agung dulu ya.
Ini hostnya siapa ya? Bu Faradina ya? Pak Arfan? Pak
Ya,
Arfan? Oh ya.
Prof.
Udah.
Bu Farah, Prof.
Oh ya, udah. Oke. Mau nyoba share screen aja dulu. Oke.
Oh, asal tahu nggak sih? Hello, everyone.
Halo.
Halo, udah.
Halo, Prof.
Halo. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good afternoon all. First of all, let us pray and praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because of His blessing and mercy, we can present together without any obstacle. Here with healthy condition in the webinar series 28 Master Program in Industrial Engineering and Management University of Diponegoro. In the title Research Edge in Industrial Engineering and Management. The Honorable Dean of the Faculty Engineering Diponegoro University, Mr. Professor Engineer M. Agung Wibowo, Master of Management, Master of Science, PhD. The Honorable Head of Industrial Engineering Diponegoro University, Mrs. Dr. Ratna Purwaningsi, Bachelor of Engineering, Master of Engineering. The Honorable Head of Industrial Engineering and Management Master Studi Program Diponegoro University, Mr. Dr. Rerum Economicum Arfan Bakhtiar, Bachelor of Engineering, Master of Engineering. The Honorable First Speaker of Webinar Series 28, Mrs. Moje Rausan Tabari, as a CEO of ISINEG, or International Standard Institute of the Next Generation. And then the second speaker of Webinar Series 28, Mr. Professor Moses Laksono Singgi, Master of Science, PhD, as a lecturer of the Department of System and Industrial Engineering at Institute of Technology, 10 November. The Honorable third speaker of Webinar Series 28, Mrs. Arini Widya Stuti, Bachelor of Agricultural Technology, Master of Science. As a head of Center for Human Research, Development, Standardization, and Confirmative Assessment from BSN Indonesia. The Honorable Moderator of webinar today, Mr. Mujiaul Haq, Bachelor of Engineering, Master of Science. And then the Honorable Mr. and Mrs. Lecturer in the Department of Industrial Engineering, Diponegoro University. And the last that I'm proud of, all of my friends. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. My name is Julia Rainada. As the host today, we'll read out some schedule for this afternoon. The schedule for today's event is first, opening, second, speech from the Dean of the Faculty Engineering Diponegoro University, third, webinar, and fourth, closing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's open this event by saying Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The next schedule is a speech from Dean of the Faculty Engineering Diponegoro University, Mr. Professor Engineer M. Agung Wibowo, Master Management, Master of Science, PhD. And the next, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event that we have been waiting for. That is webinar series 28 with Mrs. Mojero Santabari as a CEO of International Standard Institute of the Next Generation. And then the second speaker, Mr. Professor Moses Laksono Singgi, Master of Science, PhD, as a lecturer of Department System and Industrial Engineering at Institute of Technology, 10 November. And also the third speaker is Mrs. Arini Widyastuti, Bachelor of Agricultural Technology, Master of Science, as a head of Center for Human Research Development Standardization and Confirmative Assessment from BSN Indonesia. Well, webinar today will moderated by Mr. Mujia Ulhak, Bachelor of Engineering, Master of Science. Well, to Mr. Mujia, time and screen is for you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the webinar series 28, Research in Industrial Engineering and Management, which is a monthly event held by the Master Program of the Department of Industrial Engineering, Diponegoro University, Indonesia. And this is the 28th series. So I think because this is monthly event, so I think it will be more than 2 years that the department has held this kind of webinar series. My name is Muji. You can call me Muji. Now I live in Brescia, Italy. For the next 2 hours, I will be your host, and I will be with you as the chair in this panel discussion. We have 3 speakers here. The first is Miss Mojde Rosan Tabari. I'm sorry if my pronunciation is not correct. She is a CEO of ISINEC, the International Standard Institute of the Next Generation. And the next speaker, we have Prof. Moses Laksono Singgi, the lecturer from the Industrial and System Engineering Institute Technology 10 November. And the last is Ms. Arini Widyastuti, the head of Center for Human Resource Development of Standardization and Confirmative Assessment of the BSN, or National Standardization Agency of Indonesia. So without further ado, I would like to remind for each speaker, Ms. Mojde and also Prof. Moses, you have 25 minutes each, but for Ms. Arini, you only have 15 minutes. So I will tell you that if the time remains only 5 minutes and also 1 minute, just to make this webinar timely and schedule. The title of each speaker will be for Ms. Mojde. We have the ISO and the role of students in making life easier, safer, and better. And for Mr. Moses, we have evolution of design for X in industrial engineering. And for Ms. Arini, we have Indonesia Young Generation of Standardization Initiative. So for the first speaker, we have Ms. Mojde Rosan Tabari. So are you ready, Mrs.
Yes,
Mojde?
I am ready. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I will remind you that you have 25 minutes for your speaker, and I will remind you if the times only remain 5 minutes and also 1 minute. So you can start by share your screen, please. Thank you. Time and screen are yours.
Okay. Thank you very much for introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to present a lecture related to ISO and the role of students in making lives easier, safer, and better. And thanks to the organizer of this webinar who invited me for this lecture. First, I will explain about ISO. In 1946, delegates from 25 countries decided to create a new organization in order to facilitate international coordination and unification of industrial standards. And after that, this international organization was established in Geneva and began to develop international standards in 1947. And at present time, International Organization for Standardization, or ISO, is the largest developer and publisher of international standards. And it is a network of the national standard bodies of 167 countries. But the important things related to this organization is this organization develop international standards in a democratic way with a low cost, and it is open to every country with equal duty and equal rights. What are a standard? I'm sure that you know, but I would like to remind you that the standards are documents that provide requirements, specifications, guidelines, or characteristics, and ensure that materials, products, processes, and services are fit for their purpose. What are the benefits of international standards? As you know, there are a lot of benefits when we use international standards, but I would like to say that through development and implementation of international standards, we can say that products and services are safe, reliable, and of good quality. Through international standards, we can reduce costs by minimizing waste and errors. And also international standards can facilitate trade between countries. And also, I would like to say that participation in the development of international standards is the cheapest way for transferring technology, gaining information, passing experiences from one country to another, and moreover, consumers have more confidence in products and services that conform to international standards. Now I will give you some examples about the benefit of international standards that have been developed so far. For example, international standards related to quality management, they will help work more efficiently and reduce product failures. International standards related to environmental management, they will help reduce environmental impact, reduce waste, and be more sustainable. International standards related to energy management, they will help cut energy consumption. International standards related to food safety, they will help prevent food from being contaminated. International standards related to health and safety will help reduce accidents in workplace. And finally, international related to information technology security will help keep sensitive information secure. But how an international standard is developed? It is very important to know how an international standard is developed. When an international standard is developed, a working group is created at international level, and the experts of this working group will expose their information, experiences, and documents. And a step-by-step negotiation, an international standard is developed and published that can affect your industries, companies, health, and lives. Therefore, have to be involved in the development of international standards and understand what has been written in international standards and influence the content of international standards for benefit of your country and your industries. Because silence means consent, and you should not be silent in the development of international standards. Otherwise, you will face problems when you want to access the global market. Who are stakeholders in international standardization and who have an important role in the development of international standard and standardization? They are from industry and trade association. They are from science and academia. They are consumers and consumers association, and also governments and regulators. But I should mention that it is for many years that developed countries are aware of the importance of international standards, and most ISO technical committee, subcommittee, working groups are proposed by developed countries, and they are managing them very well. But unfortunately, in most developing countries, they do not have enough information about international standards, and they don't participate in the development of international standards, and don't propose technical committees, subcommittee, and enough new item proposal and working group. And also, they do not have the value of their National Standard Institute in their activities at international level. That's why we should focus on our next generation and to train them in order not to be silent in future in the development of international standards. And in the second part of my speech, I would like to talk about these important things. But before starting the main part of my lecture, I would like to say a few words from one of the great Iranian poets, Sadi Shirazi, who said this for many years ago, about 800 years ago. He said that human beings are members of a whole in creation of one essence and soul. If one member is afflicted with pain, other members uneasy will remain. If you have no sympathy for human pain, the name of human you cannot retain. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to talk about the most beautiful sentence that I have ever heard in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, 193 countries decided to support developing countries through financial, technological, and technical assistance and make a world in which nobody has pain. 193 countries decided to end poverty because more than 700 million people still live in extreme poverty. They decided to end hunger because 795 million people are undernourished. They decided to make healthy life for all people in all over the world because 6 million children still die before their 5th birthday each year. They also decided to make safe drinking water available for all people in all over the world, make cities safe and sustainable, combat with climate change, and 11 other sustainable development goals. And now I would like to give an example about the relation between international standard and sustainable development goals. For example, each year, more than 1 million children die from waterborne disease, and some 894 million people have no access to safe drinking water. But if we develop international standards related to water and implement them, they can be used and bring safe water for million people in all over the world. That's why we can say that without international standard, achieving sustainable development goals is impossible. Therefore, the question is that what should be done? What should we do as the current international standard experts? We should work more than ever before. We should find a new strategy and solution. And we should train our next generation, because the future of humanity is in our hand and in the hand of our next generation. And again, the question is that what is the fastest and easiest way? I think that establishment of the Student Standard Society Association or Institute is the easiest way to achieve our goals, because all main points for attracting the next generation are included in the activity of this association, society, or institute. For example, innovation. We know that creativity and innovation are very attractive for the next generation. Engagement, involving, and participation are very important for young people. Collaboration, working together, is very interesting for them. Therefore, all main points for attracting the next generation are included in these activities. And through establishment of the Student Standard Society Association or Institute and Technical Committee, we can increase the awareness of our young people and ask them to establish a student technical committee in any field that they are interested in. And after that, they develop a student standard similar to ISO or IEC process. And in this way, they will do practice and be prepared for the future as the real expert. And in future, I am sure that if we do this, I am sure that in future, developing countries will talk and participate actively in the development of international standard. Why students? Why we are talking about students? Because students are the future standard developer and standard users. They are the future policy maker and leader of the countries and the world. They have a significant role in progressing their country and the world. And they have an important role in achieving sustainable development goals. Therefore, students should understand the concept of standard and standardization. How can I say this in a sure way? Because I have a lot of experiences with the students related to a standard and standardization. I presented many workshops and training courses in different countries for students. For example, in different universities in Iran, and also in Indonesia. I presented different workshops related to ISO and participation in the development of international standard in Trisakti University, Islamic University of Indonesia in Yogyakarta, and Gajah Mada University in Yogyakarta. And also I had different training courses in Catholic University, Kenya, Nairobi, Los Andes University, Bogota, Colombia, Gillian University, and many other universities in China. And in all cases, I found that young people and students are very interested in the activity of students in standardization and student activity in the development of student standard. That's why I am sure that if we encourage our students in this activity now, they can do practice and be prepared as a knowledgeable expert in future, and they can influence the content of international standard for benefit of their countries. Imagine the world in future. If we establish the Student Standard Society Association or Institute, the members of this association, society, or institute will be the future standard developer, users, and the policymaker and leader of the world. For example, if they work in an organization that they should develop a standard, they will develop very good standard because they had already learned very well about the standard and standardization when they were students. And if they work in a company that they have to implement a standard, they will implement a standard very well because they had already learned very well about standard and standardization when they were students. And if they work as a policymaker in their country and leader of the world, for sure, they will support all people who are working in the field of standard and standardization, because they had already learned about the importance of standard and standardization in our life when they were students. Therefore, my request is, please encourage your students to join the other students. And for your information, I should mention that I presented about more than 28 international workshops on ISO and the role of students in making lives easier, safer, and better. And the trained students could establish 4 student technical committee, and they are developing a student standard similar to ISO and IEC process. And now I will show you some activities of these students. And I will share my screen now. This is the, can you see the screen?
Yeah, we see clearly.
Okay. This is the first page of EasyNet, the International Standard Institute of the Next Generation. And in the first page, you can see that the first Chinese student standard was published on July 28, and this student standard was developed by Chinese Association for Standardization, Student Association for Standardization, Technical Committee 1, Working Group 1. And if we go to the Student Technical Committee, we can receive a lot of information about a Student Technical Committee. And also, if we go to the next item, for the development of a student standard, you can see 2 items, International Student Technical Committee and National Student Technical Committee. I should inform you that I am working with students at international level for the development of international student standard. And also I am working with some countries that are interested in the development of national student standard. In international student standard, I can inform you that students established 4 student technical committee. They have established 4 student technical committees so far, and the most active technical committee is Technical Committee 1, that is related to climate change. And the secretariat of this technical committee is located in Bolivia, and IPNORCA, the National Standard Institute of Bolivia, is responsible for the management of the activity of this secretariat. And you can see the scope of this technical committee. And if you go down, you can see that this technical committee organized 7 plenary meetings, and they created 9 working groups, 9 student working groups. The first working group is terminology with students from Argentina, Gustavo. The second one is Hajra from Pakistan. The title of working group is Green Infrastructure Management. The third one is related to ocean. Rajiv from Trinidad and Tobago is convener of the group. And the fourth one is technology. Ilan from Mexico. And 5 is Enzo from Argentina. 6, Giovanna from Serbia. 7 is Solachana from Sri Lanka. 8 is Hassanol from Bangladesh. And the last one is Iwano from Bolivia. And if you go on the project, you can see the list of the project.
You only have 4 minutes left.
4 minutes, okay. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. And if you click on the student standard under the development, you can see the list of the project that are developing as a student standard by a student. For example, the first one, the title of the first student standard is Green Infrastructure Management, Climate Change Adaptation in Vulnerable Regions. And the second one, Environmental Risk Perception, Guideline for Evaluation and Analysis of Environmental Risk Perception. The third one, Ocean Protection and Reducing Acidification due to CO2 Absorption. And the next one is related terminology. And the next is related to inclusive community tourism, good sustainability practices, requirement and recommendation. And the last one is food-based management, general requirements for food-based management. And as you can see, there are they organize a lot of meetings and discuss the draft during their meeting and improve the draft. For example, some of them are at working draft stage and some others are CD or committee draft stage. The procedure for the development of the student standard is similar to ISO and IEC process. And for example, the second technical committee is related to smart farming, and the secretariat of this student technical committee is located in China. And the Standardization Administration of China is responsible for managing the secretariat of this student technical committee. And this technical committee also organized one plenary meeting and established 5 working groups related to terminology, drones, radio frequency compliance, IoT, and big data. And they are proposing new work item proposal. And the third one is the new one, digital economy services. And again, the secretariat is located in China. And the fourth one is software engineering, ethical and professional. And related to National Student Technical Committee, I should tell you that China is the first country that established their Student Association for Standardization. And at present, the members of this association could establish 4 student technical committee, and they also are developing a student standard similar to ISO process. But at the end, I should mention that the objective of these activities is for training, to train our next generation in order to increase their skills and knowledge about the standard and standardization for active participation in the future. But I am sure that these new work item proposals that are developing by students, they can be used as a national or international standard in future. And also these new technical committee and subcommittee that are establishing and creating by students, they can also be proposed at a national or international standard, because I'm asking them, they should not do the repeated work. They should propose a new one. They should not to repeat the work of ISO, IEC, or other organization. They should propose a new technical committee and the real new work item proposal. That's why I think that this is very important for our future, and the students have a very important role in making lives easier, safer, and better. And I would like to invite also Indonesian students to be involved in these activities. Thank you so much for your attention.
Okay, thank you for the speech, Mrs. Mojda from ISINEC about the ISO and the role of students in making lives easier, safer, and better. And also, you show me about the ISINEC and some kind of international committee all over the world that have been engaged by the ISINEC. Before we proceed to the next speaker, I would like to welcome Prof. Agung Wibowo that has come in this meeting to give the opening speech. For Mr. Agung, Prof. Agung,
Yeah, thank you, Pak Muji.
Okay. Thank you. Time and screen is yours.
Ya, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore and very good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Head of Department Industrial Engineering, the Honorable Head of Magister of Industrial Engineering, the Honorable Speaker, Ibu Mujdah Roswan Tabari, as the CEO of ISINEC, Prof. Moses Laksono Singhe, lecturer from ITS Surabaya, and Ibu Arini Widyastuti, MSc, Head of Center for Human Resources, NSP, and also Pak Bambang Purwangono and Mas Muji as a moderator. My name is Muhammad Agung Wibowo as Dean of Faculty Engineering. It is such good pleasure for me to be here among all of the participants for the International Webinar Series 28, the host by Department of Industrial Engineering. I would like to extend my warm welcome to the speaker, Bu Mujdah Roswani Tabari from ISINEC, Prof. Moses, Bu Arini, and also the moderator, Pak Bambang and Mas Muji. And the topic of this international webinar is kind of such a hot issue regarding the international standard. I would like also to thank for the committee as the initiation in order to make this webinar international as happen. I do hope all of the participants could enjoy this webinar and could strengthen our collaboration and research. Once more, thank you very much and enjoy this international webinar. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Prof. Agung, the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering at Diponegoro University. Before we proceed, I would like to remind you that the question and answer session would be held in the end of this session. So be patient because next we would like to warmly welcome our second speaker, Prof. Moses Laksono Singhe from Industrial System Engineering Institute Teknologi 10 November. Are you ready, Prof. Moses?
Okay.
As for the previous speaker, you also have 25 minutes for the speech, and I will remind you if the time remains 5 minutes and also 1 minute if you're ready. So I will give you time and also the screens.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I want to see. Can you see my screen or not?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, but I cannot see. Just wait. 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 Okay.
Yeah, we can see the screen now.
Okay. Thank you for the committee to invite me for this webinar. I want to explain about the evolution of design 4X. I mean, the evolution means that design 4X has been accessed for a long time, but currently the design 4X is still exists. So I call it this is the evolution, and the design 4X can be used, can be implemented in several sectors, and I limit only for industrial engineering. Then that's the title. The design 4X started from concurrent engineering. Okay, in this book, Design 4X Concurrent Engineering Imperative, published by Springer. It is said that concurrent engineering ideal for product development. Why? Because it has been proved that the concurrent engineering can improve quality, reduce costs, compressing cycle time, increase flexibility, raising productivity and efficiency, and also improving social image. Why? Because in concurrent engineering, they work in a cooperative team between multiple disciplinary discipline, but multiple discipline to consider all interacting issue in designing product, processes, and system from conception through production to retirement. So this is because of this activity, concurrent engineering is very good for product development. After the success of concurrent engineering, the author developed the Design for X. Design for X is one of the most effective approaches to implement concurrent engineering. And after all, the Design for X is more famous than concurrent engineering for design for everything. It focuses on limited number, only 7 plus minus 2. So 5 to 9 vital elements. So if we have to design something, we only focus for 5 up to 9 sectors at a time. So this time we focus only 5 up to 9 factors, and the next time 5 to 9 factors, and so on. So don't focus on all of the factors. Okay, this allow, because of we focus on the only 5 to 9 factors, this allow available resources to be put in the best use. So we can use the available resources in the best way. Why does a Design for X tool to do? Gather and present fact about product and processes. And we discuss it in this one, cooperative team. Okay. Clarify and analyze relationship between product and processes. Measure performance. Again, this one in a team. Highlight strength and weakness and compare alternative. Again, this one in a team. Diagnose why an area is strong and weak. Okay. Provide redesign advice because of this one. How a design can be improved. Predict what is effect, carry out improvement, and allow iteration to take place. So this one is not only one way, but we allow other alteration, improve again and improve again and improve again. Okay, and this one is the Design for X. Design for X is a methodology that works toward improving processes in specific field. So the specific field called it X, like design for manufacturing, design for power, design for variability, and so on. So the X is the specific field. We call it design for manufacture, design for assembly, design for manufacturing and assembly. In design for manufacture, we only consider manufacture, how to produce the component. And design for assembly, we only consider how to assembly very fast and good. And in design for manufacturing and assembly, we consider both, how to manufacture and assembly. For example, to make manufacture easy, we make a small easy part, but we produce so many components and the assembly become difficult. In design for manufacturing and assembly, we combine both, so we make maybe a more difficult product component to produce, but will easier to assembly. So this one is component of both this one. Design for reliability. design for quality, design for maintenance, design for testing, design for supply chain, design for cost, design for sustainability. All of these sectors is part of the industrial engineering. Okay. And this one is the development or evaluation. We throw it in design for assembly and understand the concept of disposition in 1990. Stall design for manufacturing and engineering in 1988. Managing product realization process. This one in 1993. And this one, design for X, a core for design methodology. And this one keep growing. Okay, until now it still keep growing. This one is in this book, in this literature review by Chiu and Kramer in 2010. This one and this literature explain about design for X framework consists of design for efficiency and green design. I could not explain in detail in all of this, but if you need the literature from this one, I will send you by email or by WhatsApp. Okay, this is scope of the product: manufacturing, assembly, disassembly, obsolescence, reliability, maintainability, quality, and the variety of the product. In the system scope, this is product scope, this is system scope, supply chain, logistic, and also the network. And green design, environment, sustainability, life cycle, product design for life cycle. This is also about the cycle. This one is the end of the current development of the design for X. This one, we are now in the area of Internet of Things. This one, okay, where cyber physical system exists. We do not talk about this one, but we talk about this one. In the Internet of Things, we have also smart product development. This is the paper. This one the paper. PESOA and PESOA 2020, Smart Design Engineering. Okay, in Smart Design Engineering, there are the authors collected what is the Smart Design Engineering. There are 17 factors that affect for smart product development. Okay, all of the factors have to include in the smart product development. So if we input all of the information, design for empowered users, define for product and use feedback, design for traceability, and so on, each of the criteria, this one is design for this one, each of the criteria have a certain characteristic that should be fulfilled. All of these factors should be inputted into smart product development. So integrate all important factors. The company or the user have to decide which factor is the important one. Integrate all of the factors in smart product development. So again, I will tell you that if we include all of this one, there will be a large number of data, and currently we call it big data. Okay, and because of all of each one of the criteria, design for, have a certain characteristic to be fulfilled. So we need artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a computer program that think like a human. Okay, we have to build this one to use this one. Okay, I will in last month, 31 of August, I explained about the industrial engineering future. We have to learn about the computer programming. Okay, and then next one I will explain what my student do. This one is published in 2022. Okay, this one so this year in February. Okay, my student published in sustainability about this one. Design for longevity. So design development use voice of customer from online product review, and after that use Python programming. Okay, so Bu Yunia Nur Cahyani use Python programming to categorize the voice of a customer and then process it, but not all processing using Python. After the classification of the customer voice, Bu Yunia use manual. Okay, so calculate manually. This one is design for longevity, implementing online product review and fashion innovation for resilience during new normal in Indonesia. Okay, the next one, this one still under review. Hopefully will be published this year. This one is, as I told you before, we have a design for manufacturing and assembly. This one. So we have this one. And Bu Yuniani, yeah, Bu Anda, sorry. Bu Anda add another one, this one, reliability. So it becomes design for manufacturing, assembly, and reliability. So this one is has been sent to the design MDPI about 2 months ago and still under review. So as a conclusion, the design for 4X is cover a lot of topics: design for assembly, design for usability, design for serviceability, and so on. So the and still exists until now. This one is still under review, and this one is just published this year. And also this one, smart product development, is 2000 and 2020. So this one, the design for X is still useful to design a product. Okay, thank you. I finish my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Moses, for the presentation, but we still have 10 minutes if you would like to add something.
Maybe we can continue, and after that we can have a question and answer.
Okay. Thank you. All right, thank you, Prof. Moses, for the speech that he talks about the DFX or design for X as one of the most effective approach to implement the CE or the concurrent engineering, and also the evolution of the DFX, and also Prof. Moses provide us some of the recent research about the DFX that has been published and now still under review. But once more, thank you for the speech. And now, again, I would like to remind you that the question and answer session will be held in the end of this session. So be patient if you have any question, or you can just write in the chat, and we will proceed it later. The next is our third speaker, Mrs. Arini from the National Standardization Agency of Indonesia, or BSN. she would talk about the Indonesia Young Generation of Standardization Initiative. And are you ready, Mrs. Arini?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. But unfortunately, we only have 15 minutes for your speech. And again, I will remind you if the time remains only 5 minutes and also 1 minute. And without further ado, if you're ready, so we can proceed. The screen and the time are yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muji. I think I will be less than 15 minutes. So I will share my screen. Okay, everyone can see my screen now? Yes.
Yes, clearly.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and I think and also for Mrs. Mude, hello, and Salam Hormat Prof. Tinggi. It is an honor for me to speak in this webinar, among others, the very important expert in this webinar. So I will be less than 15 minutes. It's not really that long presentation. We would like to just share the initiative about the standardization young generation. First of all, to begin, I would like to also thank the University of Diponegoro, in particular, the Department of the Industry and Technical Management, if I'm not mistaken, and to allowing us to participate in this important webinar. To begin, as a legal basis for the standardization and conformity assessment, we do have the law number 20, year 2014. This is related with the standardization and conformity assessment, and also the implementing regulation number 34, year 2018. This is the national system. And this regulation, it is stated as well about the human resource development. Government, education institution, and local government may improve the competence of the human resource in the field of standardization and conformity assessment. For doing these activities, the institution should coordinate with PSN in terms of to make sure that the competence in standardization and conformity assessment align with the national priority or national policy on standardization and conformity assessment in Indonesia. And this is the framework or the system that stated in the law or in the government regulation. I think most of this participant also quite familiar with this picture, I think. So we have three main elements of the standardization and conformity assessment, which one loops related with the standard development, starting from the program, and then the development of the standard and standard national of Indonesia, or SNE, being endorsed or being stipulated by BSN, and then we have also the mechanism for maintenance. And the right side, this is the implementation of standard. The nature of the standard implementation is voluntary once established by BSN, but the government or other institution that may adopt this standard into the technical regulation, which is the implementation become mandatory. For instance, we have the helmet for the motorcycle, and then the bicycle, and a lot of I think 305 standards that being adopted into the technical regulation in Indonesia. For the product itself, once the product confirmed to the standard, they can or they might put or attach the mark in their product as a sign or as information for the consumer that this product being confirmed to the standard. And with regard to the conformity assessment activities, which is the third loop, it is related with the conformity assessment bodies who perform the assessment or audit or evaluation to the industry or the organization who implement the standard. And this conformity assessment body shall be accredited to ensure the competence, the objectivity, and the impartiality of the process of conformity assessment. And for sure, this mechanism also supported by the traceability system. And in the middle, this is the supporting system, which is research and development, national policy, cooperation and information system, including human resource and capacity building. It is also one of the supported activities in terms of the standardization and conformity assessment. So I would say that this element need the competence of human resources. In this regard, it is important to make sure the competence of standard and conformity assessment from the early stage of the higher education student. And then as this background, as we can see here, the figure, the majority member of technical committee in BSN who are developing the standard, most of them over the 41 years old. So it is really a low number in terms of the young generation here. So we need that in this figure, we should think that, or we should make a program to prepare or to ensure that young generation will replace this figure and to prepare the involved in the standardization, because the student is, as Mrs. Moste mentioned before, explained before, it is important to make sure the young generation as a future leader and play a role, in a significant role in the quality infrastructure as well. And then this is the example of BSN coordinate with or collaborate with the university and higher education to make sure that they will prepare as well in terms of the activities of standardization and conformity assessment. And also we invite the lecturer as well as an expert in terms of the standardization. And a lot of collaboration that have been done between BSN and the higher education. We have 76 university that signed the MOU with BSN, and we would like to utilize or make sure that this is really important, and this is really a significant program to improve the activities or to enhance equality infrastructure in Indonesia. And in terms of the e-learning, we can see here we provide the e-learning for some courses like metrology, and then conformity assessment, management system, quality management system, risk management, and also standardization, and also the economic benefit of standard, or in specific conformity assessment standards such as 17025 for laboratory, or 45,001 for the occupational health, and also for the inspection bodies as well. And the majority participant is coming from the students. So it shows that the student have really high intention to study in generic standardization and conformity assessment. It is good to start the young generation for standardization. And we also invite, or we also make a cooperation with the student in terms of providing the technical assistance for small medium enterprises. This is the flow of the technical assistant stage. The first one, we identify the potential student as trainer. Normally we use the internship student, and also the student who doing a thesis or dissertation as well. And we will make the train for trainer, how to implement the SNI, and also how to make the industry or small medium enterprises aware of they might implement easily with this guidance. And then this student will perform the technical assistance to the SMEs until the SMEs could be certified in accordance to the SNE by the certification body. And this is just an example that the SMEs who are, or the the industry that implement the standard in collaboration with universities. This is also the example. And this is the other program that we have for the high school. We are conducting the standardization competition for high school, and normally they have a research. They have a specific article that mentioning or developing a standard, and then the winner will be join in the International Standard Olympiad for Standardization, which held by the Korea CATS. And in this year, we won the gold and also the silver medals for the high school from Indonesia. So it is really good or significant program to boost or to encourage students to aware about the standardization and conformity assessment. And about the program.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Arini, you
yes.
still have 5 minutes left.
Okay. The potential to be a young professional, we will invite as well for the TC member, SNE TC member, student, lecturer, professional, and association as well. And this is the program that they can also involve in the student standard that Mrs. mostly explained before, even in the level national or international, and technical assistant activities, and also the international competition and other international standardization activities. International competition also provided by the IEC, International Electrical Cooperation, in terms of young professional. And this is that already mentioned by Mr. Modi. I don't want to elaborate more. So this is the question that Indonesia student standard, which scope that we are going to develop, which scope that we are going to focus on. I think we will discuss more in focus group discussion and national workshop. In this regard, we invite all the students here, all the university members here to involve in this young generation standardization, and we will invite all the representation from university in the FGD, and we invite all the students in the national workshop that held along with the National Month of Quality in 27 October. And this is the program that we would like to also, I mentioned before, and in the end, the goals we will involve in the TC participation internationally and also nationally, and establish as well the society standard for students. Thank you. I think that's all from me. So I would be really happy to have a question from the participants. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Arini, for the speech. To talk about how the initiative of the PSN, or the National Standardization Agency of Indonesia, try to embrace the young generation, especially the university students, to have an awareness about the standards. She talks about the collaboration with the higher education. They have 76 MOU with university, and also how the student could assist the SMEs about the technical assistance, and also about the competition that we have for the students in SMK or SMA in Indonesia. Okay, all of the speakers have delivered their speech. And again, before we proceed for the question and answer session, which will be held in the end of the session, I would like to also give you information that we will give the present for the best participant or of the best questions for all of you. So be prepared, and if we would like to give questions, you can write in the you write in the chat, or you can raise your hand and directly ask the question for the speaker. And before we proceed, the next agenda is about the the program, the committee asked me to endorse the master program of industrial engineering and management. So allow me to share screen and talk a little bit about the industrial engineering and management master program that held this very lovely webinar. So this is the master program in the Department of Industrial Engineering in the Diponegoro University. So here I would like to talk mix between English and also Bahasa to easy for the communication to all of you. So the master program of TMI or Indonesia, or di Bahasa we call Teknik and Manajemen Industri or Industri Engineering and Management, and the Diponegoro University is established based on SK surat keputusan pendirian tahun 2016 dan SK izin operasional tahun 2017. And the vision is to create the Industrial Engineering and Management Master Program graduates who are able to keep up with changes and have competency as entrepreneurs and professionals in their field. So here are the lecturers. Ini adalah dosen yang akan mengampu kuliah di program S2 Teknik, Industri, dan Manajemen. And next we will talk about the facilities of this master program. Oh, no, okay. So here we have the classroom. Ini ada ruang kelas. We have also the library. We call it RBTI, Ruang Baca Teknik Industri. We also have several laboratories. Ini ada LSP, or Laboratory of Production System, or sistem produksi. Ada kali sini. Ada laboratorium rekayasa, RSKE, sistem kerja dan ergonomi, and also the other laboratory we have OPSI, ada DSS, kemudian ada studio manajemen, kemudian ada laboratorium yang baru, Linear Supply Chain, and here the new program of the master program S2 TMI. Kami mempunyai 2 degree, ya, collaboration atau kolaborasi dengan Kemenporin atau Kementerian Perindustrian, dan juga dengan Coventry University di UK or di Inggris. We also have international class, master by research, and also undergraduate, graduate fast track program. Jadi ini kalau misalkan mau langsungan gitu ya dari S1, kemudian langsung dibundling dengan S2. Jadi nanti bisa lulus langsung dapat gelar S2 seperti itu. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 concentrations, SCM or supply chain management and procurement, economic design safety, quality and manufacturing system, engineering management, and as well as the e-business concentration. Here is the curriculum by course. Technically, we only have 3 semesters. In the first semester, we have 6 courses we would like to offer. Ada statistika lanjut, advanced statistics, penelitian operasional, dan seterusnya. Kemudian masuk ke the next semester, ada wajib bidang minat dan pilihan minat. Jadi nanti sudah dikonsentrasikan ke tadi beberapa konsentrasi yang dipilih oleh mahasiswa, and then semester 3 sudah mulai seminar hasil dan juga tes. So diharapkan in the third semester bisa segera lulus seperti itu. So here's the how to register. The first is this is the student that allow to register for the S2 atau master program TMI, Teknik Industri, Teknik and Management Industri. Jadi the first you have to be the engineers. Jadi semua disiplin ilmu bidang engineering, ya, mulai dari teknik industri, teknik sipil, teknik arsitektur, teknik kimia, dan beberapa teknik yang lain. If you are mathematics, statistics, and physics, you are welcome. to register in this program, and also manajemen, ekonomi, ekonomi pembangunan, kemudian agricultural, industrial technology, atau teknik industri pertanian. But you also, if you have another disciplines, you can contact us if you interested in this program. So here is the tuition fee, pendaftaran 350.000, and then we have the tuition fee for each semester, 10 million rupiah, sumbangan pengembangan institusi which have to be paid only once, 5 million rupiah, and matrikulasi 3 million rupiah. And this is the important dates. If you again kalau tertarik masuk ke S2 Teknik dan Manajemen Industri, ini tanggal pentingnya, jadi pendaftaran dimulai 12 September, berarti sudah dimulai ya, dan sampai tanggal 5 November 2022, kemudian ada tes seleksi tanggal 13 sampai 14 November, dan pengumumannya tanggal 18 November 2022, dan kalau nggak salah berarti ini nanti mulai kuliahnya kalau nggak Desember next year ya, kayaknya tahun depan ya. I'm sorry, nanti mungkin bisa lebih ditanyakan kepada panitia atau mungkin ketua program studi S2. You can register online in this link website pmb.undip.ac.id. So again, if you're interested, kalau tertarik, silahkan menghubungi kami ya, yang dari websitenya, atau ada telepon resmi kantor, atau mungkin bisa menghubungi ketua program studi Mr. Arfan Bahtiar di nomor telepon ini dan juga di email berikut. Okay, I think that's all from the information about the Industrial Engineering and Management Master Program. Okay, next agenda would be the photo session, I think. Miss Farah, or I don't know, the committee to connect the, okay, all right, okay. Thank you, I will offer this to you.
Okay, now is the photo session. Due to that, I humbly ask you to please open the camera. Okay, I will wait until your camera ready. Please open your camera. Okay, I will start the photo session. There are 3 slides, and I will start from the first slide. Okay, please smile. Second slide. And the third slide. Okay, Mr. Muji, maybe I will continue to the quiz session.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to make this webinar more fun, we will conduct the quiz, and the best 3 winner, which have the 3 most points, will get the prize. And so, please. Okay, so please join from your website. You can open your phone and go to www.menti.com and enter the code 35380657, or you can just scan this QR code.
Tiga 35380657 35380657 3538 0657.
We will wait for several minutes, so please join the quiz. Okay, it's already 15 people just joined, so I will start to the first question. So actually there are 5 questions. Get ready for the first question. How many members does ISO have? Now, answer from your phone. There are 4 choices. Please choose one of them. Okay, 5 seconds left. Okay, time's up, and the answer is 167. Okay, let me see. The top 3 is Wildcat, Doni, and Nurmilatina. Okay. Okay. Goes to the second question. Get ready for the second question. Answer fast to get more points. Who are stakeholders in international standardization? Look at your phone. Industry, government, and regulators, or science and academia, or consumer and consumers association, or all of them. 3, 2, 1. Time's up. And the answer is okay, all of them. Okay. There are 12% that get the answer right. So who is the top 3? Okay. Oh, Wildcat. Wildcat is the fastest. Okay. And now for the third question. Get ready for the third question. Answer fast to get more points. Design for X focuses on all factor, 5 to 9 vital factor at a time, 1 vital factor at a time, or only 3 vital factors. Okay, 3 seconds left. 2, 1, time's up. Okay, everyone has voted. Only 3 people that get the right answer. And how about the leaderboard? Is Wildcat still the winners? Yeah, Wildcat still the winner. Okay. Get ready for the fourth question. Okay, smart product development. Use all factor of project development or pay attention to one of the most important factor for project development, integrated important factor of project development, or meet all the factor for project development. And the answer is okay, nice. 5 people gets the right answer. And how about the leaderboard? Oh, wow, Winter got the still Wildcat. Wildcat is the winner. And for the last question, get ready for the last question. The implementation of SNI can be carried out on requirement document, certificate, or good services, processes, or system, and or personnel. Okay, 5. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and time's up. Nice, 10 people got the right answer. And how about the winner? The top 3 winner will get the prize. So, okay, Wildcat, Akata, and somebody, please contact me for get your prize. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Pak Muji.
Okay, thank you for Ms. Farah for the quiz. Congratulations for the winners. Please contact Ms. Farah for top 3 of the winners to get the prize and give from the department. And now we have the question and answer session. We have 15 minutes remaining for this section. So again, if you would like to ask a question to each of the speaker or perhaps all of the speakers here, please welcome. You can write in the chat and I will read it for you, or also you can ask directly by raise your hands. And again, the best questions also will get the prize from the committee. Okay, please open the question answer session. All right. Okay. Or if you would like to ask in Bahasa, it's also welcome. Again, we can translate in English if the question is for Mrs. Mojde. All right, no questions still. Still shy or okay? No. I would like to open the first question if no one would like to ask the question for Mrs. Mojde Tabari. So I would like to ask about the position of the student standards. So the standard is similar with the ISO, right? But it cannot replace the ISO itself. So what is the position in terms of the ISO, for example, if the students produce the standard, so what next? I mean, this is for only the students, or you can implement it to the for example, the manufacturer or something like that.
Yes, thank you. It's a good question. I should mention that development of students, for the development of a student standard, the most important objective is to train students. To train students to propose a new technical committee and propose new work item proposal and develop a student standard similar to ISO and IEC process. Because you know that at present time, we have a lot of professional experts in the company, but they do not have information about the process of the development of international standard. And also negotiation is very important for them at international level. They have a lot of knowledge, but they cannot negotiate with the other experts from other countries. Therefore, the most important objective is to train students related to standard and standardization and prepare them for the future as the real experts. But I'm sure that these standards that are developing by students, they can be used as a national standards in their country. For example, if we have a project leader from Indonesia, he or she, that is students, will propose a new work item proposal that solve any problem in their country or in the world. And after development of these standards, the real experts can review the student's standard. And also, if they are very interested issue and useful for their country and their board, they can work on that and improve the document in order to be proposed as national or international level. And it is also possible for the technical committee, because all the time I ask the students, you should not propose a technical committee that had already established in ISO or IEC. You should propose a new technical committee. And also, these technical committees that was proposing and establishing by students, they can also be used at national and international level. After that, it depends to the member body to improve this document and to see that if they are very good document, they can improve it and propose it at national or international level. But the first objective is to train students. As you know, we have different standards. We have international standard, we have national standard, we have regional standard. There are a lot of different standards. And for this standard, we can say a student standard, but first, for training.
Okay, thank you. So I remember about the model of United Nations or MOON. So students trained to be the delegates of the United Nations Congress, like so it's like a training for the students to prepare for them in the future, that somehow they would be a part of the technical committee of the standard, right? Okay, thank you for the answer. Next, we have answer from Mr. Doni. Mas Doni would like to ask by yourself, or can I read your questions? Mas Doni. Okay, saya akan membacakan pertanyaannya dari Mas Doni Andika, mahasiswa Teknik Industri Universitas Diponegoro angkatan 2020. Saya memiliki pertanyaan, apakah ada korelasi antara standar dalam industri terhadap industri yang menganut ideologi kapitalisme, dan bagaimana dampak jika ada korelasi maupun tidak ada, ini kepada Prof. Moses. So I would like to translate in English. This is from Mr. Doni, the Industry Engineering 2020 students. So he asked about, is there any correlation between standard and also industry, which embrace the capitalism's ideology? So if there's a correlation, or whether it's not, so how is the impact for this correlation? Okay, Prof. Moses. Ya, mungkin bisa berkenan untuk menjawab pertanyaan ini.
Ya, makasih Pak Puja. Mas Doni, saya tidak terlalu mengaitkan dengan ide-ide kapitalisme ya. Nanti jadi meluas-luas kemana-mana. Fokus saja kepada desain 4X gitu ya. Ya mungkin bisa kalau ngomong ngawur gitu ya. Desain vokatif kapitalisme gitu ya. Nggak usah lah, nggak usah. Itu nanti malah jadi ngurusin negara, kita ngurusin teknik industri saja. Itu Mas Doni ya. Itu Pak.
Oke.
Ya.
Oke, terima kasih Prof. Moses untuk jawabannya. Oke, ada lagi mungkin pertanyaan, is there any other question from the participants, or perhaps dari Bapak Ibu dosen mungkin ada hal-hal yang mungkin perlu didiskusikan, silahkan, kita masih ada waktu, monggo. Ini masih pada malu-malu mungkin. Or okay, can I ask another question? Kepada Prof Moses tadi you have talked about the evolution of the DFX or Design for Excellence. We can say that dan tadi juga dikaitkan the DFX with the role of big data and the IoT. So I would like to know about the could you give like a practical example about the use of the big data or the IoT that can be implemented in the DFX?
Okay. If I told you before that if we consider a number of constraints or regulation, there will be a lot of data. So we have to and we cannot use all of the data. We have to collect the data and then choose which one is the good one, which one is not the good one, and then to classify and then to make adjustment. Because we deal with a number of constraints or X, so we have to make adjustment. For example, we have to reduce our want to because of not the important things, something like that. So actually we have to bargain. This one is more important, so we have to reduce the another constraint, something like that.
Okay. Is there any practical example?
Not yet.
Prof? Yet. Not yet. So it will be the future.
I think so.
Okay. So for example, that we have the data, about the component of the products. We have the data about the suppliers, for example. We have the data about the.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. So it will be the future. So it's very interesting to somehow connect because in the era of the Internet of Things or the IoT or the digitalization. So of course we have to embrace the kind of things with the big data, but the artificial intelligence, and so far, and it also would be implemented in the DFX as well. Okay, thank you, Prof Moses. Again, is there any other question? Silahkan Bapak dan Ibu. Okay, wait again. Okay, Mas Doni. Okay, I have one question from the chat from Mas Doni. Okay, I think this is for Mrs. Arin, right? Okay, I just guessed. Oh, anyway, saya ingin bertanya kembali bagaimana penerapan standarisasi kepada UMKM yang ingin berkembang lebih besar, khususnya berkembang ke industrialisasi mungkin ya. Jadi, I would like to translate that what is the implementation of the standardization into the SME or small medium enterprises that this SMC would like to grow to be the biggest company, for example, like that. Okay, I think this is for Miss Arini, so again, time for you.
Mr. Mudia. Thank you, Mas Doni, I think, for the question. It is really good question as well. In terms of the standard implementation in small, medium enterprises, we can say that they have a lot of limitation to implement standard. So we would like to help how to implement standard in small, medium enterprises. And we are aiming that small, medium enterprises who are able to conform to the standard, they will gain more benefit. They will also have extension access market, and then market access, and also they can also distribute more product to other area, or even they can export. We have several example or role model of the small medium enterprises that already assessed by BSN and they certified in accordance to the SNI, and they can or they are able to export their product to other countries. So I think it's quite a lot. The small medium enterprises, they can improve their product, and then also they can be a middle, what we call, we cannot stay becoming a big industry, but they might improve their quality, their production, and also their management to produce the consistent product, and they are able to meet with the requirements of the exported country as well. So hopefully with the implementation of standard can upgrade or improve the SMEs to become a world class. That's the aim of the PSN, and also government to improve the export product to other countries. And we have several, quite a lot actually, the SME that might export or can export to other countries. Thank you.
Can you give us one a best practice example, perhaps? Yeah.
The product example, or the way we
the way the PSN
the way we assist them. Okay, we call it the technical assistant for UKM, small medium enterprises. We will do the first the expert or the facilitator or the mentor or the person who provides technical assistance. They will do a gap analysis first to the SMEs in accordance to the standard. For instance, perhaps the implementation of the, let's say, the Indonesian traditional food of empek-empek, product empek-empek, for instance. Sorry, Mrs. Mordia, this is the traditional food of Indonesia, so it's called empek-empek. And then they will do the gap analysis, and then after they performing the gap analysis, they will suggest in terms of some of the facilities or the production or the quality of the raw material to be replaced or to be re-modified, or the facilities need to be improved or others, and they will be discussed with the small medium enterprises. And then they will do the training as well for the small medium enterprises persons, the employee. Normally, the small medium enterprise only have like 5 to 10 or maximum 15 persons in each in each production. And then we will do what it calls, we will do sample as well, the product, and then we will test the sample in accordance to the standard until the standard meet with the requirements. So a lot of guidance or assistance provided by the mentor or by the facilitator to the small medium enterprises, and this is actually free for them because government provide this facilitations until they get the certificate of SNI. And we will also provide, we do have a digital platform. It calls Tokomutu. So we try to put their product into the digital platform, and we also do the marketing for them within Indonesia or even to export to other countries. We have a bilateral engagement with other countries, and sometimes we also are talking about what kind of specific product that we are able to export to them. So there are several like rendang. We do have rendang product that being exported to Middle East, Australia, and then also the red ginger beverage, minuman jahe merah. We also succeed with the export to US. So I think this is a good example to make them become a world class in terms of fulfilling or complying with standard and confirmative assessment activities. Begitu Pak Mujia.
Okay, thank you for the answers. Again, we still have 2 minutes. Is there any other questions, perhaps, from the audience? Bapak atau Ibu mungkin, the last questions for the speakers.
Halo, selamat sore. I will ask to introduce. I will introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Zali. I am a student in Undip 2020. I will ask to Miss Arini. As we know, there's some issue now about data security. So what the responsibility from BSN or Komite Akreditasi Nasional as we know, because Kominfo claim that our data is secure by ISO 27001, but is still broken. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. I think Mrs. Mode also could help me as well, or Prof. Moses, in terms of the implementation of information security management system, ISO 27001. It is a must for the government to implement this system, because we have regulation that stipulate all the government should or shall implement ISO 27001 to ensure that the data security and also to manage the vulnerability of the information system. I'm not the information system person, so I will answer in generic that it is a system. So it depends on how the organization to manage this system. Like when we implement the standard, when we commit to implement the standard, we have to truly compliance with the standard and consistently meeting with the requirements. Therefore, the certification is really important to ensure that this standard implement in accordance to the requirements. They will be recognized by the certification, because in terms of the certification of ISO 27001, they need to be audited, they need to be maintained or to do the surveillance every once a year. And then they also need to make an internal audit within the organization. So this is the power of management system implementation, because internal audit is the one who tools or the means that all the internal personnel could evaluate the system itself. And I think that's the key of the implementation of the 27001. Indeed, government has the policy to implement this, and for sure there are a lot still lack of this implementation, but we are as a government improve the system and try to put the implementation of the perhaps Bapak Ibu aware with the GTA, government transformation for the digital. So we also need to improve with this system as well. But for sure, the weakness or the lack of this implementation is still there, but we try to do our best to make this efficient.
Okay, thank you for the answer about the ISO 27001 with information security. I don't know, but I'm still interested. But is it the governments implement the ISO 27001, or because it is like, this is not mandatory, right? This is voluntary to be implemented.
Actually, we have a regulation from the SSM, and they have a ministry regulation to implement the ISO 27001. So I think but we still have a transition time to implement this, including also perhaps Pak Mujia also aware with SPBE, Sistem Pemerintah Berbasis Elektronik. This is also be based this is also will be based on 17,001, 30,001 for the risk management and some of the ISO standard as well. So I think will be perhaps in the 2 or 3 years more, upcoming 2 years or next year, I think all governments should implement the SPP and also ISO 27001 because the regulation is there already.
Okay, yes, thank you. I think this condition could increase the awareness of using this standard for all of the government body in Indonesia. All right, I think that's all for the end of the session, for the question and answer sessions. Thank you for all the speakers, Ms. Mojde, Prof. Moses, and also Mrs. Arini for your time, for the sessions, for the beautiful and lovely speech, and also Mr. Doni, and also the other speaker. I'm sorry, I'm not remember the name. You can call Miss Faradina. You'll get the gift and present from the department. All right, as chair and moderator this session, I would like to return this session to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you for all the participants and all the speakers for these sessions, and see you. Back to you, Miss Master of Ceremony. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mujia. Well, I would like to say thank you so much to Mr. Mojero Santabari as a CEO of International Standard Institute of the Next Generation, and then Mr. Professor Moses Laksono Singgi, Master of Science PhD, as a lecturer of the Department of System and Industrial Engineering at Institute of Technology 10 November, and also Mrs. Arini Widyasuti, Bachelor of Agricultural Technology, Master of Science, as a head of Center for Human Resource Development Standardization and Confirmative Assessment from BSN Indonesia, who is being the speaker of today's webinar. And then thank you so much to Mr. Mujia Ulhaq as a moderator of today's webinar. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of this webinar. Hopefully, the 2028 webinar series event for the Master Program in Industrial Engineering and Management at Diponegoro University, Research Edge in Industrial Engineering and Management can bring wisdom and benefit to all of us. Before closing this webinar today, I am Julia Rainada as the host of the webinar series 28. Would like to thank you and say apologize if there are mistakes from me. See you in the next webinar series. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bapak Ibu. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ibu Arini. Thank you, Prof. Moses.
Yo, mari.
Izin live, Bapak Ibu.
Terima kasih, Bapak Ibu
Terima
semuanya.
kasih, Pak Muji.
Salah-salah
Ya.
kata.
Ya, terima kasih. Good job, Pak Muji.
Thank you. Oke.
Pas jam 12 di sana ya?
Iya, 12:30, Pak.
12:30 ya? Ya. Pas mau duhur jam berapa? Jam 1 ya sebenarnya?
Iya, jam 1-an masih.
Jam 1-an. Ini di rumah apa di kantor ini, Mas Muji?
Di rumah, Pak.
Di rumah. Belum berangkat ya?
Thank you.
Enggak, saya udah lama
Bye.
nggak ngantor. Males. Remote aja dari rumah.
Ya.
Bye. See you.
Itu Mbak Farah
Okay,
sudah siap
see you.
menghubungi
Thank you,
Mbak Farah
Miss
Muhammad
Majder.
dari Hatala atau Mbak Farah. Oh, di sini ya.
Pak.
Saya mikir jauh. Oke, terima kasih semuanya, Bu Ratna. Dan
Terima kasih, Pak Arfan.
ya, terima kasih ya Mas ya. Ya bagus, sudah berani tanya Mas ya.
Terima kasih Pak Arfan, izin live ya
Makasih
Pak.
ya Mbak Rain aja ya.
Iya Pak, sama-sama Pak. Permisi Pak.
Ya, sama-sama. Monggo, silakan. Tuh Mas Doni juga tuh, Mas Doni Andika dan Nuarta. Hubungi Mbak Farah ya, Mas Doni ya. Saya tinggal pergi.
Turun Bapak Ibu, Bu Ratna, Pak Arfan, saya izin live nggih.
Baik, monggo silakan Mas Doni.
Ya, Assalamualaikum Mbak Farah.
Terima kasih Mas Ari.
Ya,
Terima kasih Pak Muji.
ya, Bu.
Terima kasih Bu Nini.